Alright, well, I'm live again. Sorry about that, kiddos. Had a little bit of a setback staying here and helping out Johanna. Her husband's in pretty bad condition. He's had a stroke and throat cancer and some other stuff, and so he took a tumble and fell in the living room and hit his head on a bookcase. So I had to go in and help him get back up off the floor and into his chair and stuff. So trying to help out where I can. All right, well, I think we lost everybody from the previous video. I think we lost the chat. Not really sure what is going on with the live stream. I don't know if it's starting again or what it's doing. Huh. Okay, well, guess we'll find out. What are we doing? Live stream health all looks good. Miss Lily's over above my shoulder. I guess we're starting a whole new live stream all over again. Okay. Well, hopefully people will refresh and come over and find a new live stream. It says 5 people are watching. Hey, if you're watching, chat. Say hello. Let me know you're there. Can you hear me? Can you see me okay? Hopefully. Yes, no, maybe. Well, I apologize for the break in the middle of the live stream, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, and my ex-wife needed help with her husband on the floor in the house next door, so I ran over to give him a hand. I've been a volunteer firefighter and someone that just helps out for too long to ignore when somebody, especially someone near and dear to me like that, needs help. So I ran over to help them. So sorry about that. I see in here. Good, John Williams. Glad to hear. Daniel O'Connor. Thumbs up, Carl. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Smoking. What's up? Hope all is well. Yes, Larry's fine. Larry took a tumble. He hit his head on a bookshelf. He's got an egg-shaped lump that happened. I mean, how long was that? I was gone for like 6 minutes. But yeah, in that 6 minutes, his lump had gotten a great big knot on his head, and we got him up off the floor into a chair, and then from the chair, we got him over into his big, comfortable chair. So Larry is, well, he's all good now. So, whew, back to drinking beer. And talking to you good folks. So, anyhow, we were up to, I don't know, we were up to like 30, 40 people, and we lost all of them because of that. So, maybe they'll come back. Maybe they won't. Who knows? But you guys are who was important. Anybody who's watching my channel is important to me. So let's go ahead and continue. What was I talking about? We were talking about VHF radios. Yeah, we've got one. The boat's set up nicely with absolutely nothing of any shape inside, but it's physically there. The bones of the boat are good. Tomorrow I'm going to go pick up a dinghy and an outboard. So I'll have a dinghy motor and to get around with. What else? You know, other than that, guys, I pretty much have everything I need for on the boat. I've got tools. I've got all the fishing gear I need, nets, crab pots, all my camera gear that I need. The only thing that I need to start acquiring besides fixing the boat up, and really, you know, there's only 2 categories I need to work on. I need to well, 3. I need to build up my reserves, obviously. I need to get some other camera, scuba gear. I need to get scuba gear. I need to clean up the boat, and I need to replace my scuba gear. And there's some other things on the boat that I'm planning on doing. Mounting a boarding ladder to the back of it is important to me. I've been able to get online and find some online for, you know, 150, 200 bucks. I'm hoping I can find some welder up there who can weld one and mount it onto the back of the boat for me for, you know, $200, $300. That would be awesome. And I mean a heavy duty, one big enough and heavy enough for my fat butt to get in and out of this Cal 229. So, hey, Austin, thanks for coming back. Appreciate it, ma'am. Had to take a little quick break there to go rescue Larry. He was on the floor, hit his head on the bookshelf, had a big knot on his head. The poor guy, you know, I really feel for Larry. My heart goes out to the poor guy. But I could say jokingly because he married my ex-wife, but no, that's not the case. Johanna's a wonderful girl. No, it's because the guy had a stroke and he's had throat cancer, so he can't eat anything anymore. He has to eat through a tube through his belly. And because of the stroke, he can't talk well, so you can't understand a word he says, or you can once you get to know him for a while and get the inclination of what he's talking about, but you don't really understand it. It's not words, it's kind of stuff. And I'm not making fun of him, just as an example. And so I feel bad for the guy. He's been great. He helped raise my sons, did a great job with raising my boys, and took good care of Johanna after I left with the idiot I ended up marrying. I have a lot of respect for Larry and for Johanna too. And so when they needed help, I jump and go help. So in fact, that's kind of one of the things I'm going to be a little upset about leaving here, because going to leave Johanna kind of on her own, although she's got a girl that stays here in the house with her and helps out quite a bit. And they've got a whole bunch of social services. Larry was an ex-veteran, so they've got all kinds of people coming and going. He's got health aides. Johanna's got people coming in. She's got a lady that comes in and aid, does like housekeeping and stuff for her. They've got all kinds of social services helping them out, which is great. But still, she won't have somebody right here in the garage at beck and call if Larry falls like he does. And this is not... this is like once a month Larry falls and needs someone to pick him up. So, well, she's always got, she can always do 911, have the fire service come. They'll always come and help Larry up. So, and my sons are both a mile away. There's no reason why my two sons aren't more proactive with this and helping their mother out. If they ever decide to watch one of my videos, sons. Oh, well, that's a whole nother story. Not too keen on my sons right now. Their mother's only a mile away from them, and I don't see them doing anything really to help her out. Oh, well, that's another story. Back to good times in the boat. So what's going on with everybody, you guys? No notification again, only found this by refreshing homepage. Well, Austin, I'm glad you refreshed. I can't control what YouTube does as far as notifications. So... I don't know. We were at 30-some people. We're at 19 now. We're regaining. We'll give it time. It'll build back up. It's all good. And I'm sorry for having interrupted the live stream, but, that's just the life, I spent 8-9 years in Montana as a volunteer firefighter. I can't tell you how many times we've been sitting at dinner with friends over, a party at, my pager goes off. I'm up and out the door. 4 o'clock in the morning, 2 a.m., midnight. My pager goes off. I'm up and out the door. So that's the whole idea about service, guys. When you're committed to providing service to your community, doesn't matter what time it is, doesn't matter what you're doing or how important what you're doing is. And my live streams are very important. They're very important to me. But, when someone calls for help, you go answer the call. It's just what you do. So I apologize for having interrupted the live stream, but, I'm going to go and help people out anytime somebody calls and says, hey, I need help. So I'm just going to be there for them as best I can. Okay, that's of no help to me. Smoking says, camp stove. What did you text me or message me? Camp stove, $20 thrift store garage. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. I could go check Goodwill or something like that, pick up a cheap camp stove. I hadn't thought about that. Oh, darn. Rhonda can't go with me. Can I have FAFSA meeting at Lydia at 10 a.m.? Damn. Well, I was kind of hoping Rhonda was going to go with me tomorrow to go pick up the dinghy, but apparently she can't. So I'm driving to Michigan by myself. If any of you guys are from Michigan, I'm going to be heading up that way. I'm driving from Lancaster, Ohio, up to Flint, Michigan, from Flint, Michigan, down to Sandusky, and then Sandusky back down to Lancaster, Ohio tomorrow. So that's going to be my trip tomorrow. Going up to pick up my dinghy and outboard and then dropping it off at the boat. I don't know if I'm going to drop it off yet. I'm not... The marina it's deep sea or deep water marina in Sandusky, Ohio. It's an unsecured marina. So anybody can walk over there and walk out with stuff, and the hatchway, the companionway on the boat is not secure. The board is the companionway is just rotted into pieces, really. So he kind of like faked it with a tarp or something. I don't know. I may stop there tomorrow. I'm definitely going to stop there tomorrow, but I may try to rig up some sort. I may go to Lowe's and buy some material and cut some plastic or something and form something better tomorrow, and that may, and then I can get a lock and stuff on it and secure it better. Then I might feel comfortable about leaving stuff on the boat. I'd really like to get the boat in the water quickly. That's my main thing right now. So hope all is well. Yes, all is well. Hope everyone is having a great evening. Yes, thanks, Kim. Everyone's having a great evening. Oh, wait a minute. Kim's not on here. Hello, Kim. Oh, she must be on the other live stream. I hope she refreshes. Let me tell her. Kelly, tell Kim to refresh. You're on here. Tell Kim to refresh and she'll get on the right one. She's on the old live stream I was doing a little bit ago before Larry went down. I had to interrupt the live stream to go help my ex-wife and her husband. So tell her that. Paul Lemon says, same here, smoking or cheaper. Kelly Binks, hey, Grandpa, hey, Kelly. King of Chuck, keep up with your Craigslist shopping. Lots of bargains to be found. Okay. Although my spending is pretty much at an end at this point. I have a pretty good idea of some of the things I need. I will look on Craigslist for those things. I'm not optimistic I'm going to find those things on Craigslist. But we'll see. So, but yes, I agree, Chuck. I agree. I'm just running out of money before I'm running out of month, guys. Oh, gosh darn, those are good, aren't they? Oh, man. Nothing like a good beer. So anyhow, in the video that I uploaded, I was talking a bit about my plans for sailing. If you haven't heard it yet, the plan is I'm going to sail across the south shore of Lake Erie, making my way over to Buffalo, jumping onto the Erie Canal. I'm going to try to get across Lake Erie fairly quickly. Now, I'm going to do some more research, and that may change as I find more fun things to do and decide to hang out and do a little fishing on Lake Erie, catch some walleye, that kind of stuff, which Lake Erie is very well known for. But I really kind of like thinking right now I'd like to get across Lake Erie into the canal and then really take my sweet butt time going across the Erie Canal. I really want to savor that. And you know, it's a long canal, you know, it's a couple 100 miles. I mean, you know, and if you just bang, you know, if you go 5 knots, you know, you go through a canal lock and you hammer down to the next lock, you go through that lock, hammer down to the next lock, you can make it all the way across in 5 days. I don't want to do that. I want to take like a month to make it across the Erie Canal. I'd really like to savor it and make a lot of great content from it. So I think there's a lot of stories there to be told. And I think you guys will find it interesting to see and learn some of that stuff. And of course, I'm also, as I said, I'm also going to be doing a lot of fishing content. 2 reasons. One, because people that do fishing content on YouTube attract a lot of viewers and subscribers. And 2, because I really am just going to have to be able to eat. So I'm going to need to catch fish so I have dinner. Because my budget is that tight. I will venture to say, and I've been watching these YouTube channels now for a decade, I would venture to say that I am probably the least funded YouTube channel in the sailing genre, short of selling Miss Lone Star. She was the only one that maybe had less money than I did, although she had a pretty good subscriber base going and had some patrons happening. No, I'm going to change that. I'm going to say that I'm probably the underdog of everybody on YouTube. I am the poverty pocket of the YouTube sailing channel genre. I'm buying a boat for $2,000. I'm spending another $2,000 basically setting it up with the bare minimums and get me a dinghy and an outboard. And I'm going to have about $4,000 in this boat when I pull away from the dock. True story. True story. And then I'm only going to have about 3 months worth of operating budget money and $833 operating budget. Very, very tight operating budget. I'm about 3 months of money to survive on until I get my channel built. So this next 90 days, man, I gotta tap dance. I gotta put out content. And I'm gonna apologize in advance to everybody and you guys. I'm going to be spamming content almost, probably. Well, hopefully I won't be putting out as much content as I did today. Today was crazy. But I'm going to do something at least every day. At least something every day. There's going to be something for me every day in hopes of building and attracting an audience, you know. Most of the big YouTube channels, you know, Casey Neistat, PewDiePie, they upload content every day. My key thing right now is trying to, and it's, once I get on the boat and things get settled down a little bit, then I'm really going to focus on the quality of content, not just the quantity of content. But it's going to be sort of a manic thing between now and then. So for the next 10, 15 days, yeah, you know, sit back and hold on, guys, because there's going to be a whole lot of stuff coming at you. But then after that, I'm just going to be able to start focusing more on producing really good quality content from that point forward. So I'm going to apologize if I'm kind of spamming you a little bit for the next 10 days. Hey, Kelly Banks, what is up? King of Chuck, King of the Credit, King, I agree. Hey, Kim, you made it to the right through your stream. Excellent. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great Sunday evening. Kim, I really appreciate you suggesting to folks that they put their comments in caps while I was driving down the road. Very difficult to drive down the road and read comments, you know, when you're looking in front of you, looking off to the side. I'm a very defensive driver, so I'm constantly checking the mirrors in front and back, trying to be aware of everybody around me while I'm driving, especially looking for all the idiots that, you know, have it in their mind to pull out in front of me. It's one of the reasons why I've driven so many miles and I've never had an insurance claim. I mean, the only accident I was really in happened when I was 20, and it wasn't my fault. So I try to drive very carefully. I used to drive pretty fast. I tend to slow down now, but in fact, I find myself having to speed up to keep up with traffic on a regular basis because I don't want to become a hazard to navigation, as it were. So Akula says, have another beer. You know, Akula, I agree with that. So I'm going to just swing right over here to my freshly purchased, thank you to Andy, and crack open another nice cold Heineken. Oh, let's see. Sailing Slipstream says, why don't you go through Welland Canal and sail Lake Ontario down to Hudson, then into canal, no motoring, all sailing? Well, go through the Welland Canal to Lake Ontario. Because even from Lake Ontario, you either have to do the Oswego Canal or you have to go up into the St. Lawrence Seaway and then enter the canal that takes you down into the Hudson. There's still canals to be done. But my reason for thinking I'm just going to jump on the Erie Canal, it's a bit more of a direct route and it's warmer. Because I'm tired of being cold. Spent 8 years up in Alaska. Been here all winter in Ohio. I'm really tired of being cold. So I don't think I want to go that far north. Now, I could do that. But then I would probably want to turn down the Oswego Canal into the Erie Canal. Because I'm really fascinated with all the history about the canal, guys. So I kind of like that opportunity to talk about all that stuff. And I really would like to see that canal reenactment there. I think that would be fascinating to go see that. I love doing reenacting stuff. When I had my riding stable and cave tours here in Ohio years ago, my resort that I had, we would have rendezvous, they called them, where people would come and set up, and they would be, you know, it's like a time period camp that we would set up for people to come and see how people lived back in, 1800 as an example or something. So those were fun to do. So I really kind of am looking forward to sailing Lake Erie, because all that history was like 1800, early 1900s. I'd really like to look at that and talk about it and kind of go into that a little bit. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff that a lot of people would be interested to know. You don't have to go to Europe to go on the canal system with your sailboat. You can run canals here in America, especially in the summertime. It's going to be kind of pleasant. And I'd like to kind of share that with folks so they can see and learn about that. I've actually had some of my viewers comment to me that they would think the canals in the Great Lakes would be as interesting, if not more interesting, than a lot of the saltwater content, because no one's really doing the Great Lakes and the canal system. So I would be dealing with content that none of those people are talking about. It's fresh water, which of course is always pleasant. Cold water, so swimming is going to be difficult. I will swim in it. I have in the past. I have plenty of insulation, but we'll see. So Austin, hey, cool, you back? Yes, sir, we are back. Sorry I had to go. For those of you that don't know, I'm staying here with my ex-wife and her husband. Her husband's in bad shape. He just took a tumble and fell and hit his head on a bookcase and was unconscious on the floor. So I had to run in there and help him get up and get onto a chair and then get him into his chair where he can sit comfortably, and he'll probably stay in his chair for the evening. The guy is somewhat handicapped. He had a stroke. He feeds through a feed tube. Can't communicate vocally anymore. And so I had to go help him. So I'm sorry I interrupted the live stream to do that. But when somebody calls help, old grandpa runs. So I go help people. So, and if you don't like being around somebody who does that kind of stuff, then go watch some other channel, because to me, that's non-negotiable. John Stratton says, how much are they going to charge you to put the boat in the water? John, I don't know. The guy selling the boat to me says he thinks it's like $160 or $180 just to put the boat in the water. My understanding, it was like $20 a foot, but that also included stepping the mast, using the crane and putting the mast on the boat. I don't want the mast stepped right now. I'm going to build some racks and set the mast on the deck so I can carry it with me while I'm going down the canals. It's only about 200 miles, I guess, between here and Buffalo across Lake Erie. So about 4 days. Now, I could step the mast and sail across Lake Erie and then spend $120 at Buffalo to take the mast back down. Or I could spend $120 in fuel and just leave the mast down. I'm just going to leave the mast down. It doesn't make any sense to put it up and take it right back down again. I mean, it would be good for a trial run, but I think I'm going to just not do that. I think I'm going to have them go ahead and put the mast on deck and then simply wait until I get to Troy, New York to go ahead and step the mast. So, what did your family say when you bought the boat? Yeah. Good and bad. Good and bad. My ex-wife is really unhappy that I'm leaving. She really wants me to stay here and help out with stuff. And my kids apparently aren't even watching my videos, so they don't know. And at this point, Kim, I'm not going to drop a dime to tell them. If they're not bothering to pay attention to what I'm doing, c'est la vie, For the last 6 months I've been here in Ohio, within 1 mile of them. The only time that my sons came over here is when we cooked Sunday dinner, and then they acted like they were being put upon to come over and have a free Sunday dinner with mom and dad. So I'm over it. I'm over it. So they don't want to come over, no problem. I'm going to go live my life. Sail the canals, heck yeah, that's something different. Yeah, I think so, Steve. It'll be interesting. We need the slaves back. Okay. Don't necessarily agree with that, but okay. Austin, perfectly understandable. Thanks, Austin. Gavin Reagan says, you say you need to fish to eat. Can you fish in the canals, and are they edible? Yes, Gavin. Excellent fishing in the canals. I will be fishing for, in the canals, salmon, trout, catfish, bass, bluegill, perch, Sauger, Sawguy. What else? All in the canals. All in the canals. Steelhead. I mean, it's a plethora of fish in the canals, and yes, they're in very good shape with the canals because it's running water, so they do very well. Phenomenal fishing in there, and so I'm going to be bottom fishing for catfish. I'm going to be throwing plugs for bass. I'm going to be fly fishing for trout, salmon, and panfish. It's going to be phenomenal. I'm going to have a ball fishing. So, and of course, I'll eat well. So. Anyhow, let's see. After that, Palm Limit says, I know you're in a hurry, but Lake Erie is shallow and warm by the end of June. Yeah, end of June, I'm going to be in the Erie Canal someplace. Right now, and I understand it's shallow and it is warm, and I am going to do some walleye fishing on Lake Erie, but there's really not a lot of really great anchorages. There's a lot of marinas I can go in and pay to stay at. I don't want to go in places and pay to stay at. I want to be able places to drop the hook. And there's not a lot of places along Lake Erie to drop the hook if there's any kind of wind blowing. It's a big body of water. You get some pretty big waves. I don't want to sleep in the boat when I'm doing this all night, you know. If I get up on Lake Erie, I'm in calm water. Jefferson Weston, sir, thank you very much, man. I really do appreciate you jumping on the super chat. Thank you very much, sir. You are awesome. I need every penny right now, so thank you for that. So Jefferson Weston says, Grandpa, excited to watch your new journey. Love the guerrilla filmmaking style of your channel. You're not going to out-quality many of these channels, but you can out-quantity them, internet connection willing. Jefferson, I agree completely except for one aspect. I can out-quality any of them if I choose to, and I will be. I'm actually kicking around the idea of putting together sort of a glitzy, glossy, polished, video once a week, but then supplementing that with daily updates, live streams, and as you put it, guerrilla filmmaking. And I love that term kind of because I've always been a guerrilla marketing kind of guy. So yes, we're going to be doing some guerrilla filmmaking. One of the things I'm going to promise you guys is it's going to be quick. It's going to be current. I'm not going to be uploading videos and that 6 months ago. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep you guys current. You're going to know where I'm at and where I'm going as it's happening, and none of this stuff from videos from 6 months ago. So we're going to have a lot more fun with that, and you guys are going to have a lot more one-on-one conversations and input. I think with the live chats is a great resource. And as creators, more of them should adopt that because it gives me an opportunity to not only make my content, but to be doing this. As an example, I know once I'm on the boat, I'm going to go out someplace and like on Lake Erie, fish for walleye in the middle of the day. I'm going to stop someplace for fish for walleye. I'm going to do a live stream right there on the boat while we're fishing for walleye. You guys are going to see me sitting on the boat catching fish. We're going to have a conversation like we're having now while I'm fishing. I'm really excited about that, and I think you guys might enjoy that. So, Kim Blinken, sorry to hear that, Grandpa. Life is short. Life is short, Kim. You move on. There's no going back. You got to go forward. And in my standpoint, my belief is I have to be the example that I want them to see. So, shad. Yes, John, there is some shad in the rivers. Waukesha, I'm back. Hey, Kim. Hi, Kelly. Hey, we all get to hit the like button again. There you go. It's free. Yeah, man. It's free. The like button is free. Watching my videos is free. Jump on here and have some fun. And if you're in some place where it's convenient for you, kick back and have a beer with us. And I'll tell you, we have a sponsor this evening. This beer is brought to you by Andy, otherwise known as Whole Shot, here on the chat. Thank you, Whole Shot, for jumping in the super chat and contributing. He said to buy some beer, and by God, I did. So thank you. How's that for a sponsorship, huh? I need more of those. Are you going to take on crew? John, not initially. This is a very small boat. It's 29 feet. And there's me and the dog, and I have way too much crap. So I think initially I want to make sure that I get the stuff done, cleaned up. I mean, it's really guys, it's a shithole. I mean, the boat's just nasty inside. It's dirty and it's filthy. The cushions are nasty. The fabric's dirty and dusty and nasty, moldy and stuff. I really need to take some time on the boat, clean it, organize it. I sold my Sailrite sewing machine. I wish I hadn't done that now. I needed to at the time for money. Hopefully I'll buy a machine to replace it here soon. And I'm going to, sew new cushions up for it and make new cushions so it's fresh and clean. A lot of painting, a lot of refurbishing. The exterior isn't too bad at all. It's all inside that's kind of rank and nasty. So I really need to get inside there and get it cleaned up myself before I would wish that upon anybody else to jump on board the boat with me. Now, that said, I will have this boat cleaned up and ready by the time I get down to Florida in November. But I'm going to plan on spending this next 4, 5, 6 months doing just that, getting the boat all cleaned up, spiffed up, and looking good where I could have some crew on board. Now, that said, it would be nice to have some help on the locks going down the canal. It's possible to do single-handed, but it's nice to have some crew on board for that. As I'm making that progress, I might change my tune and say, hell yeah, I need somebody on the boat.